Hello, everyone, and welcome to Point Park. We are the Center for Student Success, and we are here to talk to you today about registration and advising, as well as all of the support services that are provided within the Center for Student Success, and also our relationships across the university. So my name is Molly McClelland. I'm the director of the Center for Student Success. I wanted to take a minute to introduce you to some members of our team who are joining us today.
Hi, I'm Mike Elko, and I am the coordinator for Tutoring Services. So I'll talk to you a little bit about this resource that's available to you as a Point Park student, and then Ashley and Emily, your advisors, will take over. Yeah. And on that note, I guess, Ashley, I'll go alphabetically.
All right, thanks, Michael. As Michael said, I'm Ashley Davis, and I am the coordinator for the photography major. And then shoot it over to Emily.
I'm Emily Quidetto, and everyone else in this webinar should be working with me.
My name is Angelo Gargaro. I advise in the School of Business. My role today is to run this webinar for all of you. So thanks for being here.
And so just to kind of kick it off and talk a little bit about how advising happens at Point Park. Every student is assigned a student success coordinator. They stay with you for your entire career at Point Park, really beginning before you come to campus. You should have heard from them via email about your schedules and should be able to go in there and view your schedules currently. So we'll talk a little bit more of that when I turn it over to Emily and Ashley. But there's also another half to the advising equation. You will also be assigned a faculty advisor in your major. That person is really responsible for being your scholarly and professional mentor. So talking to you about the professional networks that will help you to kind of get to the place that you want to be as a professional to be. We have a tremendous team. We have amazing connections to not just offices, but to individuals within other offices that we work closely with just to make sure that we have the best picture of what's going on with students and can do whatever is within our power to reach out to students and connect them with the services that they need. So Sarah Guidi is on the line, and I'll just briefly talk about what it is that Sarah does. We do have an early alert system that helps us to collect information about students. So any person that has a relationship with a student on our campus can submit an alert that lets us know anything from a student is struggling in my class academically to, maybe a concern about a mental health issue and everything in between. So we make sure that you are connected to the person that can best support you as you kind of turn the corner and get things back under your control and head in a direction of success. I will also turn the mic over at this point to Mike Elko. As we introduced at the beginning, Mike is the coordinator for Tutoring Services, and this is an amazing resource that we have for you right in the Success Center.
Yes, as Molly said, this is a resource that's available to you, and I'm going to urge you and exhort you to use it if the need should arise. If you find yourself having difficulty with your academics, please reach out to Tutoring Services. We are located in, we will be both on ground and online in the fall, so you have different ways of connecting with the tutor. I think Angelo's going to put up the tutoring portal link into the chat box, and after the seminar you can click on it and get a jump on everything and just register for the services so that you're in the system and you can access that scheduler whenever you want. Tutoring Services consists of we have two centers, the Writing Center, which will help you with any of your writing assignments from brainstorming to final draft. So there are writing consultants available for you. And then there's the Tutoring Center, and that's where we handle all the STEAM courses. While we would love to provide coverage for every course the university offers, that's impossible, but we do provide coverage for those freshman courses that most students find difficulty in. So I know that you're in the School of Communication. They have Comm 101 the first semester or English 101 or one or the other, Emily and Ashley?
Both, either or.
Either or, okay, so there's coverage for that. You'll have University 101, there's coverage for that. Then you can check to see which courses we cover after you register by logging into the program. There's a limit to drop-down menu, which doesn't make sense to you right now, but as soon as you log into the program, you'll see it. It's very user-friendly, and you can check to see what courses we provide coverage for. So please reach out whenever you have a need when it comes to your academics. If on a particular subject. If you're having problems holistically, let's say like you're having some difficulty acclimating and planning and executing your due dates and assignments, you might be eligible for an academic coach. Academic coaching is a resource provided to you free of charge too. You would have to reach out to Emily or Ashley in order to be connected to a coach. You get a referral and then we assess you. Coaches help, as I said, help you with your executive functioning skills, planning, executing, inhibition, things like that. So the first semester, the second semester often is overwhelming because it's a transition from high school to college. So if you find yourself in need of like global help, we're here for that as well. So we're here for individual courses and global help. And with that, I don't know if you guys have decided who's going first, Emily or Ashley. Is it either
I
of
think
you?
at this point, we'll probably get ready to go and open up the Q&A, and I will moderate those questions. So let's just start with that. I posted in the chat then for everybody on the rules, I guess, of the Q&A. If you could please state your major just so I can kind of direct the questions to Ashley and Emily accordingly, and really ask whatever's on your mind so that everybody can benefit from the responses. The questions come in privately just to us, so nobody sees who's asking anything. We're not going to mention any names, so feel comfortable doing that. And we'll get started here. This is your time now. So we got a couple questions right out the gate. This is for you, Ashley. Can you sign up for classes like dance as an elective for health and wellness?
So we don't have a health and wellness requirement. We have a core, which does include various courses that you'll take throughout the curriculum, but we do not have a health and wellness requirement. There are a few dance history classes that you'll be able to take throughout the core, but as far as dance specific, you would need to either apply to be a dance minor, and that is a process in which you audition, or there are community dance classes that are available for either a small additional fee or no charge through the university. And those are not classes, but they're through the university.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley. This is going to go back to you again. I don't know if we'll know this information yet, but we'll see if we do. We have read that the communication department has trips abroad in the summer. Will there be a trip in summer of 2022?
I'm actually going to take this one. Pre-pandemic, I'm going pre-pandemic here. There were typically a couple trips that the School of Comm would take each year. There were a couple through clubs and organizations that would go primarily towards like DC, Philly, those type of things that were local. There is one class that is an international media class, which is offered in the spring semester. So what happens in that class, you'll sign up for it usually in your junior or senior year as a major elective. That class will cover a specific country for the majority of the class. You'll get an incomplete as far as the grade for that class goes, and then you will go on a trip to that country, finish out the requirements for the course, and then you'll have the grade posted. So as for anybody coming in this semester, it's not something that you would be thinking about right now, because again, it is an upper level class that you would take later. So by the time you would get to have that opportunity, I'm pretty confident that we'll be back to traditional travel.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Emily. Ashley, I'm coming back to you again for photography. Where can I find out where my classes are located on campus?
Great question. So if you look at your schedule on Point Web that you would have received an email from me with a link to how to access that, you should see on there the times and locations for where your classes are. And then Angelo, would you be able to put a link? Is there a map of campus that we can shoot out to people?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, and you would be getting that information at orientation as well, but definitely if you want to start thinking about best ways around campus, you can do that. And if you don't see a location now, there will definitely be a location listed by the time you're starting your classes.
Emily, I'm going to toss this to you as I get a link ready for this. This is a question surrounding, I believe, accessibility services. So if you don't mind just taking this, if you get time and a half for a test, how do you go about getting that? Can you just kind of, as I'm getting this together, Emily, just explain the broad process of accessibility services, please?
Sure. So what you'll do is you will submit documentation to the university. So through our accessibility office, you'll submit that. You'll request those specific accommodations. You'll actually work with Amanda Avampato, specifically one-on-one, to go over those accommodations and how they get distributed to the faculty. So once everything is in place, all the documentation is there, the faculty will receive notification that this is something that happens. We strongly encourage you to advocate for yourself, especially your first semester. Get into that habit. Talk to the faculty, talk about what that means. There are spaces on campus for testing. So if it is something that the faculty is not able to accommodate within the classroom, you'll set up a testing time with the center where you'll come and you'll be given the exam at either a later date or even possibly before, whatever is going to work out with that particular course.
Awesome. Thanks, Emily. Just to reiterate, and you may have mentioned this, you are responsible to submit, if you do get accommodations, you are responsible for submitting that to each and every instructor. And I believe you have to do that every semester. So again, self-advocating for yourself, and with accessibility services, it's about an even playing field, right? So it's not about giving anybody any certain advantages. This is, giving you the same chance as everybody else. So definitely recommend using it. And that's like in the same vein as tutoring. A lot of times there's some hesitancy around that. Definitely use it to your advantage. You pay for it anyways, really, by going to the school. There's a lot of great peer tutors and professional tutors as well. So definitely utilize your resources as they are needed. Emily, this is going to be tossed to you. This is a journalism major. What type of laptop would be best to purchase for classes?
I knew this question was coming. There's really two answers to this. The first one that I like to tell students is if you have something, just come with it. Your first semester, see what you're going to get into, see what you need. If there are any kind of specific programs or anything that you need that first semester, computer labs are available and everything has built-in time so that you can get in there and get your work done if need be. And then you can always tell the parents, I need a laptop for Christmas. The school, if you are going to purchase one right now though, the School of Comm is a big fan of the Apple products. And depending on what you are thinking about doing while you're here, like if you're going to plan on doing any kind of 2D animation, or you're going to take like a motion graphics class, those type of things in the broadcast production, typically you want to make sure that you have the specs to run After Effects. That's kind of the big one. So if you need more specifics, shoot me an email and I will gladly send you some links.
Thanks, Emily. This next one's going to go back to you, although this is a question that would really apply to any major across the board. It's a common question and concern, so I'm glad it's being asked. This is a multimedia student. I have 2 days of the week with classes that are 10 minutes apart. How do I know if I have enough time to get between classes? Emily, I'll toss that to you.
You do.
Yeah.
Just yes. The hardest part about getting around on campus are elevators. So that's kind of the thing that you want to watch. Other than that, everything is within, it's really about 2 blocks that you're going to be walking. We've never had problems with students getting places the 10 minutes apart. Usually if you're in West Penn, that is the building that has the biggest problems with the elevators. So you'll kind of learn that first semester that if you're on the 2nd or 3rd floor and you're able to, steps are usually a good idea. If you're higher than that, then yeah, obviously an elevator is a great way to go. But if you're going down, and again, you're able to, maybe you just want to hit the stairs. But that'll cut a lot of time off. So whenever you do have those 10 minutes between, you just want to make sure that if possible, you're going directly from class to class and not, you know, detouring back to your dorm room and then coming back down, those type of things. So, you know, make sure you have both books with you and just head from one to the other. But 10 minutes is plenty of time to get between the two.
Ashley, you have anything else you want to add to that?
No, I agree 100% that we've got a small campus, even though it is a city campus, so you won't have any issues.
I'm going to take this one. Is there a portal for health forms? This is a photo major. I am going to put a link to the Student Health Center. That's the best way to go about those kinds of questions. If there's some requirements that you have as an incoming student, you will be able to find that information there, and any clarity would you'd want to reach out to the registered nurse, which is Rebecca Harper, I believe. Next up, Ashley, do we need to bring our own camera equipment? If so, do you have recommendations?
So there is a pretty extensive rental option for all of your equipment through Student Production Services on campus. I would say, much like the question about laptops, come with anything that you have and then see what you're going to need. Your first semester, you're really just getting your feet wet in your photo classes. So you shouldn't need to be, you know, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars right off the bat. You just need to be, you know, getting there, learning and learning what you're going to be needing in the coming semesters.
Thank you, Ashley. This is a journalism major, so Emily, where would we go about scheduling a campus visit? I'll start looking up that link as maybe you respond to that.
Well, there's kind of two options that I'm going to toss out here. You will be invited to orientation as a new student. So there is the Pioneer Experience, and that will get you on campus. If you want to make a trip to town and check out campus maybe next week, you would go through the admissions office. So you can either click right onto the admissions section of the website, and there should be a link there that says schedule a tour or schedule an appointment. You could also email enroll@pointpark.edu.
And okay, and you said, I'm sorry, as I was thinking, the first option what you were saying was the orientation. So that's what I'm going to post actually right now. I just posted the schedule of visit that Emily mentioned. That's via admissions. But yeah, I think the new student orientation is going to be the most in-depth that you're going to get. I don't know. I mean, that admissions visit one is more like as you're making up your mind. So, but again, it couldn't hurt to just get reacclimated to everything that's going on. The link is coming in right now for the new students orientation. You're going to want to check this out for sure. This is required of all incoming students. There is a fee that's associated with that. I believe it's $250. It's all part of, I guess, the finances that you worked out at the beginning here. There's varying dates on when students come, transfers, there's virtual, in person. So please check out this information. If you have any questions, you're going to want to reach out to the orientation team about that, or student life, orientation@pointpark.edu. There we go. What's up next? Okay, I think I actually got through all the questions. So we're not that good. There's got to be other questions out there. Come on. So far, so good. We have questions about scheduling visits, questions about equipment and laptops. Does anybody have questions about like their schedule? Did you look at your schedule and see a class that you're not sure of, or like what the days mean? Ashley, would you, just because this is a pretty common question, maybe we'll just jump ahead of it. Can you break down some of the coding on the days when students would be on campus and how that gets a little confusing?
Sure. So a lot of it can be straightforward, but the biggest thing that students run into confusion on is when they see a TH on their schedule. So at first glance, you might think that that just stands for Thursday, but it is in fact both Tuesday and Thursday. So if you were to see only a T, it would just be Tuesday, and only an H would be Thursday. Put them together, Tuesday, Thursday. The other ones are all making sense. They're all, you know, Monday M, Wednesday W, Friday F.
Please go to class on Tuesday.
Yes, please go to your first class.
All right, so we got that done. Let's see, hold on. Oh, somebody just said their audio went out. Ashley, can you re-explain the H and the T, the TH again, please? Just that portion.
Yeah, so if you just see an H on your schedule, that's Thursday. If you see a TH together, that's Tuesday, Thursday.
Perfect. Thank you for that. I'm looking through the Q&A here to see if there's anything else. As there's a little lull here, I'm going to take a second to just do a little marketing here. So the Center for Student Success is on social media. I happen to help run those accounts, but we would really love for you to follow us. It's not just run by me. I have some students that assist with our Instagram. So you're getting different perspectives other than some dude in his 30s with a mohawk. You're going to actually see what people on campus have to say and what's going on there. So our handles are at Point Park CSS on Instagram and Twitter. And we also have a YouTube page. Our YouTube channel, we put up a lot of videos, Q&As, how-tos, things like that. I posted it earlier in the chat. So please go ahead, make sure you subscribe, follow us on all the social media. Let me see, I've got another question in here, so let me take a peek. Sorry, I'm just reading this. Oh, this is a great question. I love this. All right, so I'm just going to paraphrase this. Basically, this student is saying that they have some gaps in time, I believe, in their schedule. Like they're looking for ideas of what to do on Thursdays when they're caught up on their work and have nothing else to do. They're off because I'm off every Thursday. So there you go. So what do you guys say? There's probably a million different pieces of advice that we could give. Why don't we just go ahead, Emily, kick it off?
All right, so check your Point Park email, the big one. Check your Point Park email. Every week, you're going to get an email, and it's going to be the social scoop. And it will tell you things that are happening on campus. So activities that are happening, things that are sponsored by different clubs and organizations, all kinds of things that are ridiculously fun. My favorite was whenever I got to go break a plate and get some stress out during finals week. Like stupid things like that, but it's not, well, I shouldn't say stupid things like that. It was a lot of fun. But just kind of silly things that will kind of get you out, get you meeting other people. But they also have things like there's movie nights that are going on, there's casino nights, there's stuff like that that's on campus. They have things that are off campus. They'll take people, shuttles, and we'll go bowling, or there'll be Pirates games right at the beginning of the semester, all kinds of things like that. And that's all going to come out through the email from either the social scoop, or you'll get an email from CAB, which is the campus activities board. So that's a lot of good information there. Some additional things that will come to you are all of the student media. So there are a lot of activities that are going to happen through the School of Comm student media. So that would be a great time to work on things like the Globe, or maybe you are on crew for a show in UView, things like that, that will get you started in your major a little bit faster than just waiting for the classes.
Ashley, what do you have to add, if anything?
I mean, that pretty much sums up your options on campus. I would just say, as you're starting to get used to living and going to school downtown, you're probably also going to start, seeing things that are going on downtown. We just wrapped up Arts Fest, which is a pretty big summer thing that goes on downtown for about 2 weeks. And you'll start seeing things like that going on throughout the fall semester as well. So, I mean, I would say take advantage of all the free and discounted things that you can go to as a Point Park student. Find friends in your classes and in your extracurriculars, drag them with you, and you will not have a problem filling those empty blocks of time, I promise you.
On the student life section of the website, you will be able to see some places where you get discounts with your student ID. So, I mean, if you have a weekend free, maybe you're going to hit up one of the museums, spend some time there, get inspired, those type of things. But there are a lot of options, and I promise you won't be bored.
Michael, why don't you weigh in a little bit? What would you recommend students do with their downtime?
Yeah, well, study. No, but besides studying, I'll just pick up where kind of Emily left off. Pittsburgh has a lot of museums. You could walk to the Andy Warhol Museum from campus. It's just right across the river, right across Allegheny River. We're bookended by the Allegheny and the Monongahela River, and then it goes to the Ohio. There's the Point State Park. Take a stroll to Point State Park. There are tons of, there's the cultural district that's right downtown as well, where there are theaters, other types of venues that you can explore, cabarets, things like that. Then also the big Pittsburgh has, I think, 92 neighborhoods, but we're downtown and we're like, I guess, 2 miles from the Oakland neighborhood, and that's where our sister city schools, Pitt and Carnegie Mellon and Carlo, are located. So that's a very active area for college students. The south side of Pittsburgh, which you could walk across the Smithfield Street Bridge and you'll be in the south side. There's a lot of student-based activity that goes on there. So I would just encourage you to explore Pittsburgh, get to know the neighborhoods. You'll find quirky shops and great restaurants and, you know, world-class museums. So, oh, and then if you're into sports, you know, there's the Pirates, the Steelers, the Penguins, all that. Shopping is easy. You have a shuttle that goes to the waterfront, which is a shopping area about 5 miles from downtown, but you know, a 20-minute shuttle ride and you're in the waterfront and you have access to like big box stores like Target. They're always fun. So there's a lot. Visit us in the tutoring center and get help with your sport. There's a lot of things you can do.
Absolutely. And then just for me to add in, this is a little bit super conceptual, I guess, but just don't take the time for granted. Things go by in a blink of an eye. These 4 years, they're going to fly past you, and it's a great time to just really expand your horizons, diversify who you know, what you know, take some chances, take some risks. Just don't take the time for granted, because seriously, it flies by. I think that's why I still work in higher ed, because it went by too fast for me.
I was going to say, Angela, you can speak about the music scene in Pittsburgh more than any of us, because you're kind of involved in it.
That's a good point. I mean, the music scene in Pittsburgh is definitely kicking. There's a lot of different venues. I actually don't know which ones are resurging now with live music coming back and whatnot, because it was definitely a tough time for the music scene over the last year. But there's definitely shows coming back. Bands are planning and playing. So there's lots to do. The Hard Rock is right across the river. Smiling Moose is a good one down in Southside. In Millvale, there's Mr. Small. Yeah. So start a band if you're bored. Do something fun. Start a podcast. You could even, there's a podcasting studio on campus that you can go and rent time and create a podcast. I know a lot of students who have started podcasts, and it's really, really cool. So that's my 2 cents right there.
That is located in the CMI, which also houses a lot of events. So I'm bringing this back down towards the education side here, but you're going to get invited to all of these events, speakers on campus, things like that. There's free food. If all else fails, go for the free food. But it's also a great place to network. And a lot of those things will happen over the weekends whenever people are coming into town to see these speakers, which again, typically people are going to pay to see them, and you get in for free because you're a student. So take advantage of things and check your email.
Yeah, for sure. Get in the habit of that. Ashley, I'm going to toss this to you just because they're a photo major, but I don't know the answer to this. If you do, awesome. How far is the Mattress Museum from the school?
Well, I mean, it's over in the north side, so it's going to be, I mean, I guess it depends on how you're getting over there. I don't think you could walk it. That would be a hell of a walk. That would be like an hour.
Is there a T that takes you over there?
Yeah, you could take the T. You could take the T from downtown, from probably like Wood Street, and you could take it over to the north side, and then you could go from there. You could easily walk from there to past the Allegheny Park and up to the Mattress Factory. Or, I mean, we've got those Healthy Ride bikes. You could rent one of those bikes. I think it's pretty cheap. And if you have a bus pass, it's included with that as well. So, I mean, it's not hard to get there. You do have to cross a river and a bridge, so that sort of makes it a little bit more of a mess, but that's how Pittsburgh is, and we love it for that. So.
Ain't it the truth? Ain't it the truth? Emily, I'm going to toss this to you. When will I know which buildings my classes are in? I will be commuting on the T and will need to plan my route.
Right, so classrooms will be assigned closer to the start of the semester, but I will tell you, I take the T in to work whenever I come to campus, and you are safe getting off at Wood Street, Gateway, or First Avenue. Those are kind of the three depending on which building you're going to. They are all within 1/10 of a mile of each other. I've actually sat there and Googled it. But if you're going to West Penn, typically First Avenue is the spot. If you are going to any of the other buildings on campus, normally I get off at Gateway.
Sorry, I had myself muted. All right, so there we go there. I think we're caught up on questions, but we still have some time. So if you have questions, please throw them into the Q&A, the questions area. Maybe you have questions about University 101. What is that? It should be on everybody's schedule. What the heck is that? Maybe you have questions about student organizations. I'm just trying to think of random questions that people have asked in the past. Let's see, I think we might have something else. Let's go. I know I'm talking to a few people right now in the chat privately about podcast topics that they could start. And really, hey, listen, here's the thing. You could start anything. That's the beauty of a podcast. Let me just say that out loud. Like, just find something that you're passionate about, something you could talk just a crap ton about, and just go for it. There's a niche for there's like, it's kind of like how TikTok, like on TikTok you can find like a corner in TikTok for like everything. You can find a podcast for everything too, you know. So I just say take the chance. Why not? I run a podcast myself that I started outside of Point Park, and let me tell you, it took me years and years and years to just acquire equipment and to learn how to do this stuff. And you could jump ahead of like those years and years that it took me by utilizing some of this stuff at Point Park. Because it's there and it exists and you can just dive right into it. So pretty cool. Oh, this is an interesting question. Ashley, this is photography. I'm not sure if I should be in commercial or general photography. Do you have any kind of, thoughts on that?
So, I mean, the majority of people go for the general concentration just because it's more broad. You get to pick all 6 of your concentration classes rather than, picking from a selection and then only getting to pick a few of them. It's really up to you. And again, I would say, get here, see what's going on. If you want to switch, you can switch, but you're not going to be taking those higher level concentration classes until you're much further on in your degree. So, learn about them, learn what you're interested in, and then we can have the conversation. But being in the general concentration is where I see most students go, and it really just lets you diversify your education and shop around, so to speak.
Emily, this is a journalism major. This question is general, so we can all kind of weigh in, and I'll post the link here in a second. What types of clubs and activities are there? Where do we sign up? I'll even ask an additional question, Emily, if you know, are there any specific clubs to like the School of Comm or things that might leverage an area of interest like that?
Yes. And you will, again, I cannot stress this enough, especially the first week of the semester, check your Point Park email. You are going to be bombarded, especially that first week, with invitations to join all kinds of student media, student clubs, PRSSA, the broadcasting has one. There's the Globe for print journalism. There's the Fix for the, I think Fix is the photo magazine. I mean, and there are no silos in the School of Comm. So if you're a journalism major, but you're into photography, you can still join clubs and activities that are geared towards photography. So again, you're just gonna get flooded. Your email will be flooded with all of these different options and opportunities for you to join. In addition to the major specific, there are things that are just fun that are on campus. And that's really where you're going to start to meet a lot of people who are outside of the School of Comm. So there are different kinds of clubs and activities. I mean, there are people that just get together and watch horror movies. There's an outdoor adventure type club where they go on hikes. I mean, all kinds of things. I think I had somebody who just started an anime one not too long ago. So lots of options. And again, it's all going to get flooded to your email, especially that first week.
I talk about this in all the webinars. I'm a big fan of this, and Emily kind of just touched on it where she had a student start an anime club. What I really love about the structure of Point Park is that they're open to any kind of club. So if you find like something that interests you and it does not exist already at Point Park, you can create this club. And it's cool how you go through the process. It's not like you just go, okay, I want a club with this, and then it happens. You actually have to like kind of come up with like a business plan almost. You have to come up with like a concept of what it's going to be. You have to have a certain amount of people that would already commit to maybe signing up for it. You can find all of that information on the link that I posted. Rachel Phillips, all typical spelling, double L in Phillips. They are kind of in charge of SAIL and CAB, which is all the student organization, campus activity kind of stuff. So again, you could find something that may exist, but I even think it's so cool to potentially even create something new and leave a mark at Point Park that lasts even, you know, beyond your education. We have another really stellar question that came in. What's the parking situation? There's going to be a couple different viewpoints on this. Who wants to start?
All right, I'll roll. If at all humanly possible, public transportation is the way to go.
It's an easy
Yeah,
answer.
that's going to be the cheapest because there's the Mon Wharf that's convenient to campus, and that's $10 a day unless there's flooding, and then it's only $5 a day. No, they shut it down. But public transportation, or you might find a sweet spot in like the Oakland neighborhood where you could park for free and catch a bus down, or the South Side. But I wish I could tell you there's one area you could go to and it's free parking, and a bus would come by and take you to campus, but that doesn't exist. So,
Ashley, do you have any other advice? You do kind of, you know, traverse the city pretty efficiently, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I do a myriad of different ways depending on where I'm going. So, I mean, I would definitely agree and say that if you can do it and if it's possible from where you're coming from, public transportation, whether it's a bus or the T, is a great option. One thing I will say is also look for the park and rides along the various bus lines. So that would be an option where you'd be parking for free and then taking the bus the rest of the way in. And I've done that before. It's a great option because then you don't have to sit on the bus for an hour, but you are a little bit closer to where you want to be and you're not paying to park. You're just paying for the bus pass, which is very affordable. It's, I think, just under $100 a month for the bus pass, unlimited rides. So that's a good deal. And it's a hell of a lot cheaper than what you're paying for a parking garage downtown. I don't know of any student that's able to afford that.
No,
And then,
yeah, the park. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah, the parking is
yeah, I was
intense.
just gonna say the only parking option other than the wharf, which is hit or miss because it's, you know, it floods and it's not great. But if you go across the Smithfield Street Bridge, which is about a 10-minute walk, then you can park over there for $8 or $10. And I mean, it's a walk, but it's kind of nice to clear your head before or after classes, and it's pretty cheap too.
Yeah, and that's where I park. I was going to weigh in there. I drive from the airport, so I really just kind of, I have no other option here. So I park over where Ashley was saying by Station Square. Honestly, in the winter, it kind of sucks going over the bridge. I'm not going to lie, but you'll hustle and you'll be feeling alive by the time you get on the campus. In the summertime, I ride my skateboard through the parking lot and just, you know, kind of get the vibes going. So you could definitely make it out to what you want to be. There's other parking options there, and again, like Michael was even alluding to, there's areas. Start talking to students. They find areas where you can park. You have to maybe walk a little bit, but it's free. You know, if there's a will, there is a way. So you just gotta kind of keep your eyes and ears open. This next one I'll take here real quick. How does the parent become the authorized payer for the login with tuition? I'm gonna just post the link to that. It literally has all the steps right there. Should be good to go. If you have any questions though, you will want to reach out to student accounts. They are the ones that can assist you with any kind of concerns. I'm gonna put their email in the account or in the chat right now, student accounts at Point Park. All right, so as I'm looking right now, I don't see any outstanding questions. Again, we still have about 15 minutes. So if you have questions, ask them. But with a 15-minute warning, I am going to plug something else. When you leave the webinar, you don't leave yet, but when you go to leave, there is a survey, 3 questions. Please complete it. If you enjoyed this, give us a 10 so that our bosses can see that we did a good job. And if you have any extra questions, maybe you didn't want to ask it in the webinar, there's a slot for you to ask a question. And again, give us feedback. The goal is we want to engage and interact with students before they get to campus, see a little bit of our personalities, and help you just get acclimated before the fall semester. So any feedback so we can do these better, be super appreciated.
I'm going to answer some real common questions because I have 3 of them in my inbox right now. They are questions about Clep Tests, AP tests, and college credits that you've completed in high school. So we get these questions all the time. If you have taken and passed an AP test, those scores will they will be received on campus end of July, beginning of August. Once they are evaluated and we confirm that yes, you had the minimum score for that AP exam, credits will be awarded. Once credits are awarded, your schedule will automatically be updated. You'll receive an email from us saying that, hey, your schedule's been updated, take a look in Point Web. The same thing for college credits that you've taken in high school. You must submit an official transcript from the college that issued the credits. So even if your high school transcript says that you took a class at the community college, doesn't matter. We need to see the official transcript. So you'll actually have to request that transcript from wherever you received those credits to be sent to Point Park. Once that credit evaluation is complete, your fall schedule will be updated. You'll get an email from us letting you know that it's been updated. As far as Clep tests are something that you'll do when you're already a student at Point Park. So let's say your major has a foreign language requirement and you've taken 6 years of French. You don't want to take French 101. So you can take a test. It's very similar to the SAT, ACT, AP tests, those type of things. It's run through the college board. You'll pay the fee for the exam, you'll sit, you'll take the test. If you pass the test with a certain percentage, you'll get credit for the course. They are challenging. They are very challenging. So if it's something that you're just going to go into blind, I'm not going to recommend you do it by any means, but it is an option to get credit.
Awesome. Emily, I'm just going to toss this really quick to you right now. Just I thought it might be valuable for students to gain a little bit of insight on like their first year of scheduling. We're creating their first schedule for them coming into the fall, but that's not how this process will go moving forward. Can you just touch on that briefly?
Sure. So what's really nice about Point Park is that every major has an 8-semester sequence. So it's the 4-year plan, fall and spring. And basically it lays down every class that you need to take each semester so that you are meeting the prerequisites and taking enough credits in each semester so that you will graduate in that 4-year time frame. So what happens whenever it's your turn to schedule? You'll access the system and we'll give you information on how to get into the option to register by plan, and it will show you the 5-6 classes that you're required to take in that semester, and all you need to do is click a button and pick a day and time that class is being offered. So it is incredibly simple. It's really kind of a no-brainer as far as registration goes. If it's a major course, that will be the only option. If it is more of a core class or something where you have an option to select a class, it's an extra click. But if you're taking world cultures and you're like, maybe I would rather just do a Western Civ class, you can get in there and you can make that change. So you will have some choice in there. We're not taking all of that away, but we're making sure that you're meeting all of those milestones to get you through the program. And again, we'll give you all of the step-by-step on how to get in there, how to add those classes, how to submit them for approval before registration starts. So you'll be absolutely able to see those 8 semesters. You'll see what's coming up each term. You'll know what is happening, what classes are going to be options for you in a particular term. I love this system. I wish it was there whenever I went to school.
Thank you for that, Emily. Ashley, I'm going to toss this to you. This would go for really anybody, though. When will we know what we need for class, like surrounding books, equipment, things like that? And Ashley, can you also just, expand on the book thing and some of the recommendations that we usually give on that?
Absolutely, yeah. So as we get closer and really when we get into August, you'll probably start, getting communication. Again, check your Point Park email because it's not going to come to your Gmail or your Outlook. It's going to come to your Point Park email. You'll start, hearing from professors, sending out syllabus, and you'll want to be looking at your Schoology as well because a lot of that stuff does populate there. But what Angelo was alluding to is really hold off on, buying a ton of books or a ton of the things that you're seeing on those syllabi, because a lot of times what you're going to find out is you're going to get to that first week of classes, you're going to sit down with, all those pricey textbooks that you bought brand new, and you're going to find out that, Professor whoever says, oh, actually, I'm not using that anymore. It's outdated, or I only use this chapter, so I provide you with that as a PDF. And you don't want to get into that situation where you've already purchased those things because a lot of times you can't send them back. So just hold off, because also a lot of times what you can do to save a lot of money is just rent your textbooks, and then you're not out hundreds of dollars. So wait and see a little bit.
And if I could just say something about textbooks, like the library has copies of all the textbooks. So if you just need certain sets, scan them at the library for free. Because often I shouldn't say often, but frequently professors only use certain chapters. You don't need the whole book, you just need certain chapters.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the big takeaway is just, we're always going to recommend you be proactive in CSS, but this is one of those things where we're just going to say pump the brakes a little bit, just because we don't want you to spend money that you don't need to. It's 2021. The internet's a beautiful thing, as many of you probably know, right? Like, we can find different ways to get you this information, and a lot of instructors do. So hold off. The books come pretty quickly at the beginning of the semester, so you should be good to go.
I would also just say, once you get your syllabus for a class, a lot of times they're going to outline, week by week what you're going to be doing. And if you see on there that you're not going to need a book until, halfway through the semester, then it's not as much of a rush. So if you're in a situation where, you're budgeting your money, you need to know, like, I'm only spending this much the first month and this much the second month, then hold off. You don't need to buy it until halfway through the semester. So definitely pay attention to that sort of stuff as well.
I want to give a shout out to Sarah Guidi, who is in the chat here with us, part of the CSS, and she has given us a little bit of info here. She's also saying interlibrary loans is an option, which I didn't think about. So thank you for that layup over there, Sarah. All right, so that covers a lot. We definitely got through a lot. You all asked some really amazing questions. So we're right around the 5-minute mark until this webinar is over. So we're going to go around and just kind of give some final thoughts and some salutations before we sign off. I just want to remind everybody again, as you go to exit, there is a survey. Please complete it. You can ask any questions that you may not have gotten to or wanted to ask here. And the feedback is really valuable so that we can do better next time. So Michael, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, it's just thanks for joining us today. We're glad you're headed to Point Park, and we look forward to seeing you and helping you succeed in your academic endeavors. So remember to click that link to the tutoring portal and register for an account, and you'll be all set to go. Thanks.
You can do that as soon as this webinar concludes, and I'm posting the link one more time, so it's right at the bottom of the chat for you. Ashley, what say you?
Yep, it was great virtually meeting you all. Hope to see you all at orientation in August. And just keep checking your emails, because you're going to be getting a lot of important information as we get closer to the start, and I wouldn't want you to miss any of it.
Emily.
All right, so I just want to let everybody know that, especially for any of the parents who are out here listening, I kind of act as your child's glorified helicopter mom while they're at Point Park. So for any of the students out there, if you don't know who to talk to, if you don't know what form you need, if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, we're the people that you're supposed to ask. So a lot of times we may not be the person with the answer, the 100% answer, but we know who can get you the answer. So whenever there's a question, whenever there's a concern, whenever something is just not right, absolutely reach out to us. We all check our email regular. We all have phone numbers. We are all in the office. So absolutely let us know when something's wrong. This first semester, it is so important that you advocate for yourself. You talk to people, you know, express what's going on in your world. And whenever there's a problem, we're the people you talk to. So absolutely do not hesitate to reach out to any of us at any time. And I am so looking forward to seeing all of you on campus.
And once again, I just want to thank everybody for being here. I know time is precious, so thank you. Please make sure that you follow us on all the social media, complete the survey at the end, sign up for tutoring. But honestly, more importantly, I think enjoy this summer. The world's been crazy for the last year. Get outside, pet a dog, go for a hike, do something fun, and get ready to work hard in the fall. Thanks for being here, everybody, and we will see you soon.